Hello and welcome to this round 2 clash between the Canberra Raiders and Penrith Panthers. We are here live at Canberra at GIO Stadium, and I'm joined in the commentary box by fellow commentator Ollie Pace. How you doing, Ollie?
Doing all right, Jack. This is a very exciting matchup here. The Panthers looking to not only break a 10-game losing streak, but looking to break the duck they hold against Canberra. The Canberra Raiders, however, they look to continue what was been a pretty decent run of form. They were able to defeat the Broncos 28-14 at Brisbane, and now in front of our home fans in fairly wet conditions. They should be looking forward to perhaps claiming a decent 2 points and putting themselves right near the top of the SRL ladder.
Yeah, well, a win here would go a long way in the start of this season. Now, the Raiders have beaten the Panthers every time they've versed, and the last 2 matches that they've come up against each other, the trial match for this season and the final round for last season, they've flogged them. How do you think this game's going to go?
Well, I mean, I do feel like Penrith will be playing with that chip on their shoulder. They're going to have a target on their backs for Canberra throughout this. Going to probably see a lot of heavy shots placed, but you can't really go against the run of form here. I would probably say Canberra by probably 2 scores.
Yeah, I think I'll agree with you there. I think Canberra just have a lot of quality, in this Penrith side have seemingly struggled for the past 2 seasons even to really do much. So I think Canberra will run away with this one.
Yeah, well, the first set underway, and it seems like Penrith are getting some decent meters here early on.
Yeah, well, the first set, they haven't made any errors off it. They're going to get to their kick. It's a decent set, and the Raiders will get the honour of returning serve. It's a bit deep there from, I think that was Malchus.
Yeah, they go to the lock.
Yeah, that was a poor kick to end the set there. And the Raiders will have a 7-tackle set to push their way up as Leondis makes a break and takes it up to the 40-metre line.
Yeah, first start here for Aaron Leondis, and first touch of the ball is some very solid work. Looks like that front row doing some great work there, as well as Jordan Lewis setting one free.
Yeah, well, the Raiders, they haven't got much resistance here. They're making a lot of meters, and Eli Barnes, the best player in the last match, gets the offload there out to Tua'a. And it'll go out to Luke Thompson. And Jack O'Neill will take the hit up. Raiders with a very good set here.
They've been very solid thus far. Just trying to get some good meters with their forwards, tire them out early on, and if you can get some good progress here, that's how you can set yourself up for a crucial victory. What do we do here in the last?
The Raiders with an opportunity here. It'll go to O'Neill. He'll put the grubber kick in. It's not a bad kick. And Tua'a scores the opening try of the match. The Raiders, they go up 4-0 early.
Yeah, Sabah Tua'a just got himself right on the end of that kick. Was beautifully placed there by O'Neill, putting it basically right on the goal line. And, well, Panthers just didn't look certain on what to do with it. Looks like that's Ollie Pace there, just looking at it, just thinking, I probably shouldn't be taking this one. I don't have the safest pair of hands. But it ends up being Sabah Tua'a who gets past the attempted tackle of Mark Lee and grounds it right near the post with 4-0 lead early on here, and the Luke Thompson kick to come.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, this is some warning signs for Penrith early. They didn't put up much resistance in that set. Canberra kind of just rolled down the field and put in a nice little kick there for the first try.
Yeah, I mean, first set, first try. Again, the run of form has continued here for Canberra, just able to incise their way through the Panthers' defense. Early front row work, and an errant kick really from Malchus. Malchus did have to play in the lock position. Of course, Lachlan Martin forced to the interchange here due to an injury he suffered round 1. As the area rebounds from that, and also having a captain from the bench.
Yeah, well, I think that'll be an interesting point in this game. Lachlan Martin, he provides a lot of spark for this team with his aggression in the forward pack. I think he might be a big loss playing off the bench. And we've seen it so far with the lack of aggression and defense from Penrith, as the Raiders have made very easy meters so far.
Yeah, they're just able to find their way through the pack. Not really much being made in terms of post-contact drive backs there by Penrith, but they've been able to do some solid work thus far on this set, but perhaps not as Lobim nearly making a break.
Yeah, well, again, here the Raiders, they've made 60 meters off the kickoff. They're up to the 40-meter line, and again, Caval taking it up 20 meters from the Penrith line. Raiders with another chance for an attacking kick here. It'll go to O'Neill. O'Neill puts a grubber kick in. It's not the best. And Mark Lee recovers it.
Yeah, it didn't look like he actually got that kick away. It just looked like it was forced out there by, I believe, Lockie Sinclair. Sinclair put the hit on, and O'Neill couldn't get his boot to the ball. And as such, 0 tackle, a 7 tackle set here for the Panthers. As now Malchus able to break his way through. Do you think this is where they win the war?
Yeah, well, look, I think they need to make every opportunity count as they lose the ball there. Eli Barnes able to scoop it up, and they're going to play the ball again. No advantage.
Yeah, just
they've got a scrum.
Loss, yeah. Oh, scrum here. I thought they had been done away with in the SRL, and while they also catch him offside, I believe it was Isaac Edwards who was standing there, and well, he was standing on the Raiders' side of the scrum. So tough penalty to give away.
Yeah, and this just marches the Raiders right up the field. They've got another opportunity in Penrith's half, and they're putting the foot on the throat here. As Tim James will get us back underway. It'll go out to Leondis, who will send it to Wehu. And Leondis takes the tackle there, 25 meters out, about 25 meters out. It would be an absolute hammer blow early on if the Raiders could score here, wouldn't it?
Yeah, going down 2 tries, nearly 10 minutes in, just absolutely demoralizes the side, especially one that has already been so down on morale from having to take so many losses recently. This is where they really need to try and make a stand here.
There we go. O'Neill with another grubber kick, and Eli Barnes is able to finish it off. First it was Sabbath, now it's Eli Barnes. And O'Neill has 2 try assists. Great work from the Raiders.
Yeah, that's just, again, the attack through the center corridor, and it doesn't look like the Panthers defense was really ready for it. There's a lot of debate about the fullbacks recently, about whether Brody Kennedy is there, but where is he? He's just off to the right side and is not able to cover the kick whatsoever. And it ends up being O'Neill puts one through, right through the center there. Again, Pace is just not looking at the ball there. And Barnes is able to hop on yet another grubber kick. And now the Raiders will almost certainly be going up 12-0 here with his kick from right in front.
Yeah, well, worrying signs here for Penrith. They've looked completely out of this match. Both of their sets have ended in errors so far. The kick from Malchus, that went out on the full, went out dead, sorry, and the knock on in the second set. They need to fix something up now. They need to get themselves back into this game before it gets too far gone.
Yeah, and I think the way you do this is you lay some hits. Let the boys at the front, Pace, Sinclair, Malchus, they need to be the ones that just send a message to the Raiders. Don't go down without a fight. Got to try and make something up here. At least get some small moral victories in before we can think about taking on the scoreline.
Yeah, I agree. And I think they really need to fix up their defense right now because the Raiders are making too many easy meters. I think Penrith's discipline's off a bit as well. Just letting them in this game, the Raiders. Penrith have really been off.
Yeah, now again they try a break here through Barnes, but it's just been where they've been able to find those gaps. Just seems like the Penrith defense has been a sieve of late. Just not players making tackles whatsoever, forcing their fullback out of position. When you set up another line break, it's just damage limitation right now.
Yeah, well, they've almost made it up to the 20-meter line here off this kickoff return, and Raiders again deep in Penrith's territory off some poor defense there. And Thompson puts the kick in. It might find the ground. No, Markwell's able to get there on the full. And not the greatest end to set there for the Raiders. What do Penrith need to do to get themselves back into this game, Ollie?
Well, I think the main way they got to do it is, again, just try and get some post-contact meters. They're not really winning the war out there. Just try and keep it clean at least. Try and get a repeat set, perhaps. You don't need to win this, immediately. It's so difficult to try and overcome an early 2-score deficit. But right now, I think it's just get post-contact meters, get down that field, and get some players involved.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think they need to also clean up their errors. I mean, this set's been good. They haven't made an error. They're on the attack here. They need a good set to end it, and then just start winning that field battle. Get into the grind. Get into the grind of the match. I'll kick it down to Morrison. who will return it pretty well. He's able to step one before being brought down there just before the 30-meter line. James gets it out to Lewis, who'll find an offload. They're making some tackles here, Penrith. They want to keep this up.
Yeah, that's exactly what they needed. By the way, would like to note there was one key change here, I feel. Zen Markwell is in at center on debut. He was in for Tomo Mack, who has been released by the club. He's got his first touch there off that Jack O'Neill kick, I believe it was, on that crossfield opportunity. Trying to get himself involved early, and I think, getting early touches for him will help him settle his nerves.
Yeah, I agree. As the Raiders here into the red zone, Penrith can't afford to concede another. O'Neill's kicking's been the game so far. He makes an error there, though. Good defense there from Penrith, rushing up on him quickly.
Yeah, I mean, he's gone to the grubber 4 times thus far this game. You have to figure it's what he's been best at, and he'll just keep on going to what working. And that time, they were able to get up on him, and he couldn't get that boot to his ball once again. And, well, now Penrith got a 7-tackle set. Can they find a line break here? That's what they need right now. Get someone deep and try and put someone in.
Yeah, they need some field position, and line break would really help them right now as we enter, as Penrith, enter Raiders half. That'll be the last. I don't think I've seen them down in their 20, the Penrith Panthers. I don't think they've been in the Raiders 20. I don't think they've attacked the line yet. So, they just need something to get them down there. I think once they're down there, they might be able to do something as Bell is away. Kennedy's chasing. I'm not sure if he's got the pace for it, though. Corey Bell, he crosses the 10. Brody Kennedy brings him down. And the Raiders with a full set on Penrith's line. Caval out to Morrison. The defense is there. I think it's that man we were talking about earlier, Markwell. Great tackle. Laumu will go out to Caval. Sending it to Lewis. He pushes his way forward. He's brought down a few meters from the line. The Raiders, they've got the foot on the throat. Goes out to Barnes. He crosses the line. I think he's dropped it, though.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look at this. It was Mark Lee on the tackle there. It looks like it was a soft signal no try there as Barnes just knocked away there. Might have been pace that actually got the arm in to free that ball. And it ended up being a knock on there. Should be in goal, and that's what the bunker says. Huge 7-tackle set here, and a big let-off as well for Penrith. Could have been down 18-0, now instead down 12, and with a 7-tackle set.
Yeah, well, it was a great desperation tackle there from Pace, and stops a almost certain try. I thought Barnes was over for sure, but he just drops it above. And now Penrith with a chance to get themselves up the field. They don't want to make an error in this set. They've been waiting for something to go their way, and they've got an opportunity here. As Malcolm will send it out to Crutcher, who will take the line on himself, makes a few extra meters. The Raiders defense holding on there. Bradford sends it to Pace. Pace again. It's that man. Gets the offload to Sinclair as well. Out to ball. And Panthers with their first real opportunity in Raiders territory. What do they need to do here?
I think now the option here has to be bomb. Send up Markwell's wing via a kick from Isaac Edwards.
Well, it's Crutcher, and it's a pretty good kick. Might be a meter too deep. It's not. It's absolutely beautiful. But Eli Barnes, he's too dangerous, and he makes an extra few meters there with a step. It was a great kick there from Crutcher, wasn't it?
Yeah, great kick, but Barnes just able to get it before any Panthers' hands could get underneath it. Made another step as well, but Brody Kennedy, excellent field awareness on that occasion to stop him from making a big gain, trying to retreat back in defense. Just came up to meet him and ended up just forcing him back inside his own 20. A chance to really force the Raiders into a yardage situation now.
Oh, and that will help. Marshall Edwards with the regather, and he almost gets past the, I think that's the winger there for the Raiders, Morrison. As Panthers well in the attack now. They need to make something out of it, and another error will cost them. Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of a comedy of errors on both sides there. Tried to get a quick 40-20 kick with Edwards playing back, but ended up just taking a bad ricochet, and Marshall Edwards ended up getting it anyway. Pretty much inside Panthers half, but Mark Lee trying to force one too many passes here. Perhaps he's been put under the pump by the scoreboard pressure, thinking he's down 12, thinking they need to make it up immediately, but they have some time here. They can put it to good use, but now they're having to defend here, and this might be another attacking opportunity for Canberra.
Well, yeah, it's really been the story of this game so far. Penrith, they've had slight opportunities, but they've just been making some errors that have really put them under the pump. As Brody Kennedy regathers that ball, and he steps one and makes a few meters. Penrith deep in their half now.
Yeah, now you just have to work your way out of it. And now you're in the yardage situation. See if you can perhaps get a penalty to go your way. Just find players that you can use. It looks like they've gone to their bench now. They've brought on Cameron Relentless back on as a bench prop, signing out of South Sydney. He's going to try and make his runs, as well as I believe Lachlan Martin finally making his way onto the pitch.
Well, that'll be big for them. Lachlan Martin will be huge. He's got great speed through the middle, and he is their skipper. Hopefully it can bring them a bit of motivation.
Yeah.
As they'll kick from pretty deep in their half there. Crutcher. It's a pretty good kick. It'll go down to Corey Bell. We know how dangerous he can be. And I think that's Crutcher that brings him down there just past the 40-meter line. Raiders winning the field position battle. They're starting this set pretty much in Panthers' half. Really starting to gain the ascendancy here, aren't they?
Yeah, they're still pushing through once more. They're getting some good impact already through Ben Arnold, making that run there. And now they're probably going to try and look to send one through the left side and then work it back over to the right and then back in center for Eli Barnes.
Well, Morrison, he'll take it there in the last. He's a few meters from the thing, and they give away a held in tackle penalty. That's really not what they needed. A full set to defend on their line. Already 12-0 down. Raiders could make this 18-0.
Yeah, it's a coach killer. Held in tackle on tackle 4. Thankfully, no chance to make it a free possession game immediately with a kick for touch, considering how far away they were from the post there. So perhaps lucky on that occasion.
And Arnold pushing his way over. He looks good. He looks very good. I think he's got that down.
Yep, well, sent it up to the bunker here, but it looked like he got the arms free. Soft signals, no try, but I think he's got that through there. Bigger man on a bit of a littler man in Tim Ball, and Arnold just got the arm underneath the leg there. They'll have to send this up green.
Yeah, well, that was great strength there to push his way over. And Raiders, well, that was a bit of a hammer blow to Penrith's morale and their chances of winning this game. They've lost the past few by a lot. This game could really blow out if Penrith aren't careful here.
Yeah, well, in their last regular season encounter, it went down by 36, 40 points to 4. And, well, we're kind of on pace, no pun intended, to do that, as Thompson easily converts this one. I think where Penrith are just finding their fault there is just through that center corridor. They just need to be able to diffuse what the halves are doing with O'Neill and Thompson. Just pull more pressure on them. We saw when they got that pressure to him, it was working. Do more of that.
Yeah, they've just got way too much time to operate at the moment, the half pairing, and we know how good they are. So you give them time and they will execute it brilliantly, and that's what they've done so far.
Yeah, now they've decided to use Jordan Williams with the iconic Raiders hair, running it forward now for that first kickoff hit up. I think he's definitely going to be a player who can make an impact. Given, the off the bench impact that Canberra has, I mean, they had their previous starter, I believe, who's now running as the number 16, and we won't see until the second half, Wally Allen as well. They just have a lot of impact depth. And, I mean, if the starting lineup can do this, who knows what the bench players will be able to do.
Yeah, well, Jordan Williams, he is the green machine, and he certainly wouldn't look out of place starting, so having him off the bench is good enough as is. So he really could make an impact in this game, as O'Neill almost gets back with a player running in front of him. We'll go down to the wing of Robbie Elms, who will be taken down there relatively easy. Penrith, again, as per usual, is stuck down their end of the half. It's they need something before halftime, I feel. Otherwise, this could get pretty ugly.
Yeah, just get some points on the board. Sometimes that's all you need to generate some momentum. You have 10 in-game minutes to do it, though, so definitely not out of the woods here yet. But, I mean, one also thing to consider, which I did not realize, is Jordan Williams is actually coming off a bench here. May have been meant to start, but due to an HIA that he had received, he was forced to start from the bench after suffering that concussion in round one.
That was a great kick from Ash Crutcher. It puts the Raiders on the back foot here.
Yeah, just pinned him deep. Got it right to the end goal, right over the head of where Barnes was. But, I mean, with the way that they've been able to run the ball up, you don't think it really affects them that much, Canberra. They've been able to send it up well.
Well, they're going to force the early kick here, Penrith. It's actually a pretty good kick. That might go for a 40-20. He doesn't quite have the angle, and Kennedy's able to mop that one up.
Yeah, perfect decision-making there from Jack O'Neill. Just not quite there on the execution. But had that paid off, probably would have sent Penrith into shambles, really. Not that they aren't already. They've been able to just pile immense pressure on them. You know, only one real prime attacking opportunity for Penrith, and even then, they saw it ran back earlier, but here they go again.
Oh, good meters here from Penrith. They might not have enough plays to put in a really big attacking play, but they just need to get Raiders down their end and keep them there. They're just not piling on any pressure, and it would be good to see them get some sort of pressure here. They're in the danger zone, though, with this kick. We see in this kind of area of the field that wingers can run away with it. It goes down to Bell, and Bell is wrapped up there by, I think that's Nathan Fisher, who also gives away the penalty. Not great there from Penrith. Their discipline's really killed tonight. Their errors and their penalty giving away. That'll hurt. Raiders will be right on the attack again.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel that like Fisher was just put under pressure to perhaps not let them break through immediately. Just give a defensive line set. Sometimes that might be the nicest thing you can do is just take that tactical penalty. But Fisher in the centers there, usually playing in a wing role, perhaps not used to being involved in so many tackles, and as such ends up being flagged for holding down. And also, the word has been given to Lachlan Martin. Next player to be holding down may be sent for 10.
Yeah, well, that is certainly a point that we'll keep an eye on. Could be absolutely devastating for Penrith, especially since how they're being dominated now by the Raiders with 13 on 13. Barnes, whoa, what has happened there? Has that hit a Penrith arm? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that just spewed out of Eli Barnes or what's happened there. We're waiting on the call for the ref.
Just looked like a loose pass to me. He was trying to find Bell down that right wing. Had a look for him and said, come on, go get it. It was absolutely home free if he got to it, but he just couldn't get that pass out in time for Bell to run onto it. Just got hit too early, and as such, Bell wasn't ready to run onto it, and as such, ends up giving the ball back away to the Panthers. Maybe they can create something out of that missed opportunity.
Yeah, well, Penrith, they've got an opportunity here before halftime. An 18-point deficit going into halftime certainly isn't uncomebackable from, but it certainly would help if they were 12 points down.
Yeah, they just need something here. Maybe they can create on the right side, but I mean, it's just not been there really, in my opinion. They just haven't looked for anyone to try and score.
Goes to Crutchy. He'll put the kick in down for Bell. Makes one step, and Brodie Kennedy is able to mop up the mess. And Corey Bell will be taken down just past the 30-meter line. As Sabbath Tua will run just past the 20-meter line. Raiders in dangerous territory again. Penrith are scrambling.
2 line breaks. Now they can look to put the pressure on once more. Already down at the Penrith goal line. There's surely not much they need to do now.
Lomu. Great cover defense there from Penrith. I thought he was in. Raiders, this will be the last attacking set of the half. And Weehu will get in. Too easy, too strong. Raiders will go up 22-0.
Yeah, they'll just double check this one. It was, I believe, Malchus trying to put the arms around the opposite lock, but it was the opposite way it went. Taranga Nalviu just getting that ball down, but it will be a difficult kick here, especially in the rain. Penrith will have a very trying time here to really mount something as they might not even get a chance to touch this ball again with what the time ticking down, and Luke Thompson about to take this one.
Yeah, well, if Luke Thompson hits this, I don't think it's possible for Penrith to come back. I mean, we have seen crazy things happen in the SRL, but with the way Penrith's form has been, I just don't see it happening. Raiders might go on to put this up to 40 points, the margin. Luke Thompson does fail the conversion, though, so it'll stay at 22 points, but still a very tough assignment for Penrith.
Yeah, just in that conversion, it's a very tough thing to do for a left-footer to swing it right to left with that wind blowing. I definitely think, that rain and wind may have affected him, and now he has to basically live with the fact that he's not going to be perfect, but, well, the Panthers have been far from it thus far, and now the Raiders can perhaps put the screws to them, make a late dash early, and try to maybe go up 26 or 28.
Yeah, well, this will be the last set of the half, and you imagine the Raiders will just slowly take some hit-ups here. I won't try too much. I imagine they'll be pretty content as they make a line break and an offload. O'Neill will take it down for the final tackle of the first half. We will be back for the second half. Welcome back to the second half of Canberra v Penrith here on SRL TV. Canberra currently leading 22 points to 0. Ollie, what do Penrith need to do to win this game?
Stop getting boat raced. It's plain and simple. They've been just outclassed in defense, really. And that's really been where it's been. It's just continuing to give up line breaks, post-contact meters, and making key errors when they really need to hold on to the football and try and mount a 7 or 6 tackle attacking opportunity. It just hasn't been there for them right now.
Yeah, look, I couldn't agree more with you there. I think Penrith they've certainly haven't been clicking in anything. They haven't been clicking in defense, they haven't been clicking in offense. But they've made a few changes at halftime, and maybe that'll help them. But for the other team, I'm actually particularly excited about that man who just touched the ball, Mata Use. I think he is going to have a blinder of a game. He played amazingly last week, and I think we're looking at the future best half of the SRL as a little error there from the Raiders. How do you see Mata Use going?
Well, I'm not ready to quite acknowledge him as a tribal chief just yet, but I do think that he definitely has some potential coming into that halfback role. Well, he's not going to be playing halfback of his occasions. He's playing 5'8" with Jack O'Neill moving over to fullback and Eli Barnes getting an early shower. But definitely feel like Mata Use will need to show it for his kicking game and also with how well he worked with his halves. He gets some good opportunity for chemistry here with O'Neill and Thompson both on the field with him. So perhaps he can work with his spine along with Tim James to create some hefty opportunities down the stretch.
Yeah, well, Penrith straight into attacking field position here. I think this is the best they've had all game. An attacking kick will be coming here. It goes out to Crutcher, who puts a bomb up. It's a pretty good bomb, and Tim James just catches it with no pressure. It's a good kick, no kick chase there from Penrith.
I think the kick chase was there. I think it was there, but the problem was that it just didn't hang in the air long enough for them to really mount anything, as it was James, the hooker, who was playing the defensive line, who was there to at first. I think it was just, everyone kind of just got back to try and get into their usual positions, attacking positions, defensive positions. And, well, with that, as a result, they didn't get enough hang time on it. And now the Raiders end up getting pinned deep at least. So, small victory here for Penrith, perhaps.
Yeah, well, they're going to be starting almost in... Never mind, they will be far in Raiders territory as Robbie Elms is away. Robbie Elms is broken free, and he'll score the opening try of the second half. Robbie Elms may have just gotten Penrith back in this game.
Robbie Elms, I think that's the first time we called his name all game. He has been just not involved in the play whatsoever, but this time once he gets his hands on the ball, he ends up being absolutely electrifying. Breaks through a couple of tackles, gets right by the fullback Jack O'Neill, having to move from 5'8", ends up running that one through. I mean, perhaps it's just you're running downhill here towards this side of the ground because they were shut out early, but now they get a prime opportunity. And if they keep this pace up, they might end up being able to steal away this game from Canberra.
Yeah, well, they couldn't have asked for a better start to the half. They won the bit of field position there, and then Robbie Elms just takes off straight through the middle, barely touched. I don't think he was touched, in fact. Closest he got to it was that ankle tap attempt. And Penrith, great start, 6 points to start the second half.
Yeah, I mean, at the very least, it generates a positive mood within the team. It's like, we aren't going to get absolutely run over here. We can make our way through this defense. We can find gaps there, and we can perhaps, at least generate some momentum to not get completely crushed underfoot here.
Yeah, and well, Penrith here, this set will be vital. Errors have been a big part of this game so far for Penrith, and they'll want to complete this set, get to a nice kick, and do what they did last set, and just pin Raiders in their own half.
Yeah, now
Raider Relentless will take it into Raiders half, and they'll have an opportunity to put a kick in here, and maybe the kick chase can make a tackle. As Edwards puts it down out to Jacob Morrison. He'll step one, and Brody Kennedy will make the tackle, but probably not the best result there, field position-wise.
Yeah, again, it's just a long kick with not much hang time, and that's again been where the issue was in that earlier attack from Crutcher, where the kick was fielded by James. On that occasion, Morrison just gets room to basically hit full pelt, ends up being able to step past one, but Kennedy again is getting up in that kick chase, but it puts the defense on such a difficult position. Without their fullback, they know they have to make tackles, and perhaps that pressure really gets to them.
Yeah, and Raiders here, well, they got a set restart there due to a Penrith hand on the ball, and Raiders, they got 2 plays here in Penrith's 20 with a chance to erase the 6 points they scored. Tim James, short ball there to the Green Machine Williams, but he's driven back. And James will go to Mataus. He puts the bomb up. There's players under it. Tap it back for O'Neill. And it's good defense there from Penrith.
Yeah, really good work there. Anthony Delaney, I believe it may have been. Might have actually been Luke Malkus, but ended up being able to drive the tap back recipient there with Jack O'Neill. He made his way through previously in previous games, and I believe in this one as well, but on that occasion, no way through for them, and Penrith end up holding serve on this occasion against the attack, and now they can try and mount one of their own here. It's Martin nearly breaking free and an intercept.
Oh, well, Martin, he tried to take the team on his back and just threw a pass that wasn't really there. It was a good idea, but he probably should have just hung onto that ball. Penrith would have been in some good field position. Instead, the Raiders now, they've got a chance to put some pressure on them. And O'Neill straight through the middle. Absolutely blinding pace. But he's unable to break past that final defender there. James, it goes to Caval. Caval pushes up past 10-meter line. As James will send it out to Mattos. He goes to Ben Arnold. The big man pushes his way forward. And he's brought down about 5 meters out. This will be the last for the Raiders. It goes to Mattos again. He's touched the ball a lot. He puts the bomb up. And Robbie Elms will get pushed back. And they'll get another 6 tackle set here, the Raiders.
Yeah, really good discipline there by Canberra. Not trying to take Elms out in the air. Just waited for him to land, and he just had nowhere to go. It was Tim James who led the charge there. Just brought him straight to ground. And, with the big hooker on a bit of a smaller winger, the strength battle was easily won there. And now they give themselves a repeat set and already are driving them down into Penrith's red zone.
Yeah, well, again, they've got 3 plays to work with here. So it goes to Caval. He pushes it up. The captain's touched the ball a lot. They send it to James. Mataus takes the line on himself. He makes another good 5 meters there. They look set out to the left. It goes that way. Wehu to O'Neill. O'Neill breaks free, and O'Neill will score.
Yeah, O'Neill just able to get the arms free there. He was in a very difficult spot, just had the arms wrapped around, but broke the tackle off. Just great work there as well from the Raiders with quick outlet ball out to the left side. Isaac Edwards, just look at the size difference between those two. Edwards had no shot of making the tackle there, and O'Neill able to send one through, and they answer the 6 points that Penrith have scored, but it'll be a difficult kick here from outside the hash mark.
Yeah, well, on that height difference, it was like Edwards was trying to stop a train in front of him as Thompson converts it pretty easily.
Thompson does end up answering back, makes up for the previous missed kick. Now 4 from 5, and well, pretty decent run of form for him kicking game-wise. Now, well, again, they've responded in kind to what Penrith had done. Now, 25 minutes to play. See just if you can get things deep in field. Don't allow them those long kick returns. That, I think, is mainly the key here, because that's where the main threat has been for Penrith, in my opinion. Just that long kick returns from Kennedy, Elms, Fisher, Edwards. Of course, Markwell hasn't been able to return a kick himself yet, but we'll see if he can do that at some point in this match. As now the Raiders, they'll look to mount their attack. They give the first involvements for Wally Allen, and this is where they can really start to twist the knife into Penrith.
Yeah, well, I expect them to twist the knife very, very hard as Tim James takes a little dart at a dummy half. The Raiders, they have a good set after points. If they can complete here as Thompson takes the line on, he looks pretty dangerous there. But I'm not sure who that is just clinging on for dear life there. Mark Lee it is. As John Boy Mavia will send it down to Robbie Elms. And he makes a good 10 meters on the return there. Probably a bit more than 10 meters. Delaney will go to Crutcher.
Now Lee. This is where they can really mount their counterattack here, Penrith. They got pinned deep in the half, but Elm's got a decent kick return, but look at the shot laid on.
Ben Arnold on Cameron Relentless. That was a big step-up moment there from the Raiders. Ben Arnold just absolutely laying out his bench counterpart. As Panthers on the attack and Brody Kennedy slices through them like a hot knife through butter. And it's too easy. Brody Kennedy, they needed a bit of spark, Penrith. And that was it.
Jack O'Neill and Ben Arnold just got made to look like a comedy skit. They got absolutely fooled there. One went left, one went right, and Brody put the step on both of them just as they came through, and Kennedy ends up getting over. I told about the lethal backs. That's where they strike on that occasion. And now Penrith, they just got back into this match perhaps, but they're still down by 3 scores. Should be an easy conversion here for Levo to narrow the gap ever so slightly.
Yeah, well, that misconversion from Thompson, if Panthers were to make a bit of a comeback, that could be vital to this match. Penrith, they just look like they're hanging on by a thread at the moment. It is possible for them to win this match. That misconversion will definitely come in handy. But they're just hanging on by a thread. I think they need to be the next to score.
Yeah, well, I mean, with just over 21 minutes to play here, usually takes you about 2 minutes to get downfield unless you can break off a quick line break, which we've seen them do. That's how they've created both of these tries, but to be able to do that consistently is so difficult in the SRL. And I definitely feel like Caval or O'Neill or whoever they need to rally the troops will be able to do so and get the Raiders back on top of the game here and make sure the Panthers don't break off any more large gains.
Yeah, and Relentless here will take the ball up. They're 35 meters out, 3 tackles gone. Penrith, they'll send it out to Lachlan Martin, the skipper. It's not the biggest meter set, but they'll want to just contain Raiders in their half. They go for the early kick through Crutcher. It's a terrible kick. And Corey Bell, boy, oh boy, that is not what they needed.
Yeah, Penrith. I mean, you say to try and kick it to the winger. You don't kick it to the winger while it's playing up in defense. If they'd been able to look deep there, Crutcher, I'm sure that could have created an opportunity, but unfortunately not on this occasion. He put it right to where Corey Bell was waiting and has given the pressure of this game right back to Canberra.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what Crutcher was thinking there. Bell must have put on a Penrith jersey, but a penalty here, and they're going to take the 2. I mentioned the misconversion earlier. Luke Thompson, you imagine he'll get this, and reconverted try lead Raiders. Be important.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Lee is one of the most automatic goal kickers in the SRL today, but still putting that pressure on the Panthers to even get down there, let alone have Lee put those kicks on. It's going to be something to consider here as well. That 4 minutes was just winded off and really caused no great change to the game. The Raiders will be happy with it. The Panthers won't be, but they know they can still hang.
Yeah, well, that thread just got a little bit thinner there, as Mata'us will take it, and he'll give it off to Eli Barnes. He's been a bit quiet tonight, Barnes, but it hasn't really affected the Raiders. They've been on song everywhere else. So Mata'us takes on the line. He's driven back past his own 20-meter line. James will go out to Caval. Caval driven back there, struggling to make meters like they have all night, the Raiders. Just losing the contact here. Perhaps Penrith, the adrenaline's pumping. They've gone up an extra gear.
Yeah, I mean,
As the Raiders,
maybe that penalty goal was all they needed. That's what they needed to try and, just get themselves back into this. Just find a way through. Granted, you can't really have a way through right now, not having the ball, but perhaps this is what they need.
oh, well, that was a poor kick. I'm not sure who that was. I feel like it was Thompson. As Brody Kennedy runs onto it with speed, and Penrith with an opportunity here to really tighten this game up.
Yeah, perhaps it was looking for a chip and chase, but overblown it is. That was a great pass there to just catch one of the Raiders off guard. I believe it was the captain, Raul Caval, who was just standing aside from marker and ends up putting his hands where they shouldn't be and gives away a penalty. Now Penrith get an opportunity to mount an attack from the red zone.
Well, I feel like the motivation of Penrith has just gone through the roof. I would like to see them score here if there are any chance of winning this game. Certainly not impossible, but it would help their chances a world if they could score right now. It's Lachlan Martin will play the ball just inside the Raiders' 10. They make an error, the Panthers. That is typical of their night.
Yeah, just another miscommunication there. It looked like it was one of the halves, perhaps, that was looking to receive it. It might have been Nathan Fisher, actually, who was looking to receive that pass, but wasn't ready for it in time. And now the Raiders have an opportunity to not only break a tackle, but perhaps break this game wide open and really let the floodgates loose.
Yeah, well, they've got prime opportunity here, prime field position, as James will send it left to the skipper Caval. They've liked that edge tonight, the Raiders. Caval will play it just outside the red zone. Barnes out to Morrison. He'll get dragged down just past the 10-meter line. Here's Lomau. Out to Tim James. He tries to grab a kick that O'Neill was doing earlier. And this time O'Neill's the recipient. And the Raiders, you got to imagine they've locked this game up now.
Yeah, Jack O'Neill once more. It was Tim James, not a usual kicking option that they went to here, but with Lomu playing acting half, he decided to take himself. It was nearly Leondis that took it even. James took it over his head. What an amazing take by James. And then another deft kick opportunity. Malchus Fair doesn't quite have the agility of O'Neill to get his legs down and be able to pick that ball up, and O'Neill took it at speed and dove right past him, putting up another 4-pointer. They should be able to make this 36-12 here with 13 minutes to play in the point-per-minute race. You'd have to say Penrith are done here. It's pretty much just writing the closing chapters on this one. The plot's over.
Yeah, look, we've seen some crazy things in the SRL, but I don't think we'd see anything crazier than this if Penrith were able to pull this off. I think it's sadly over for them, but I'd like to see them pull something out of this. Maybe they can get a consolation try or two, limit Canberra to 36 points. They don't want to concede back-to-back regular season 40 points against the Raiders. That would be it would be a chip on their shoulder for any time they verse Canberra in the future.
Well, anything you can put up on the bulletin board to try and motivate yourself, you can do right now. But I feel like that's what they need to create for themselves. Put up a highlight play or two. Even if you're only playing for pride, it's time to lay a shot on and get yourself stuck into this match and let them know that you'll be back.
Couldn't have said it better myself, as Eli Barnes will take the third tackle there. Just past the 40-meter line. It'll go to Mata'us. He'll send it out to Jordan Lewis, who'll push his way up inches before halfway. What has been your takeaway from this match on the Raiders' performance?
They have looked absolutely clinical in attack throughout this match. It's really just been the halves that have done well here. Mata'us not too well involved, but now Edwards, perhaps we might see a change here. No, he's and down there by Lomu just to finish my thought. It's been really good work in attack there. They've been able to, also capitalize on loose passes, people trying to force the error a little bit too much. That's what you need to do in the SRL, is know when you can take advantage of players' mistakes, as Eli Barnes as well, just running over, I believe it was one of the Panthers forwards, and Ash Turner. That's been where they've been strong. It's been quite good in attack and decent enough in defense where you can capitalize on the mistakes and take advantage of them and turn them into your own points.
Yeah, well, we saw the Raiders just slightly miss out on finals last season, as they've got an opportunity here to make the deficit a bit wider, as Mata'us takes to the air. And Brody Kennedy takes it very low. It was a great take there from Brody Kennedy. Probably should have been in a better position, but it was great from him nonetheless. But to finish my point, we saw the Raiders just miss out on finals last season. But two dominant performances to start the year. I have a feeling they might be there this time.
Yeah, I mean, Sadiva Tempa-Worley starting 2-0 is exactly what you want to see out of them. As now Fisher attempting to break free, got a pass away to Martin, to your point, and also to an earlier play actually before that. Brody Kennedy, I think, was just waiting to make sure there wasn't any bad ricochet off the goalpost, just to make sure he could get over there and cover. With the Raiders, it's all about what you can do in generating momentum early on in the season. If you can get yourself ahead early on, get a 2-0 start, you generate momentum for those tougher matches against potential finals contenders. It almost feels like a tune-up game, really, another trial match. And they've made sure to stay clinical and get themselves in great position here and should be able to seal this one nicely.
Delaney there with a good take. They are looking for something, Penrith. They certainly haven't given up in this match. They've defended their line well, and they've attacked well in this last 5 minutes. They didn't fall over, but unable to get the consolation try there, as the Raiders will work it out from their own end. Now, I'm asked for your opinion on the Raiders game. What's your opinion on the Panthers game so far? Or for this game? We're in the final 6 minutes.
Jack, at risk of being fired, I won't speak on it right now.
That's probably for the better. As Lewis will take it up. I'll give my opinion on the Panthers game. I think they've been absolutely appalling, to be honest. I think I don't think they deserve to win this game at any point. But they certainly could have made this a lot closer. I think just a few poor errors from them, and not a lot of execution, as Elms will take the ball up there. Yeah, just Penrith haven't been amazing tonight, and I'm sure their captain coach won't be happy with that.
Yeah, well, having to operate from the bench here is so difficult. But again, I feel like this is where you can really start to work on what you think can work for you. You can't always rely on those hefty kick returns that they have in the past. Just try and see what you can create out of different attacks. We're seeing them now with Pace and Sinclair making good front row runs, but sometimes those things can fall through. What they're trying to do is communicate, and they're failing in a lot of those ways. They aren't communicating defense on who should be taking grubber kicks or who should be trying to take the runners on, and that's really where their main failing has been. If they can just gel at some point in this match, that'll be where they can really make some work happen and perhaps just get themselves better on that points differential.
Yeah, well, they probably only have one more opportunity here unless Raiders make a bizarre error. But yeah, this Penrith have really been disjointed. To your point, just like you said, not a lot of communication. So hopefully they can work on that training this week. And who have they got next week? I'm not quite sure, but whoever it is, hopefully they can show up.
Yeah, well, they absolutely would need to show up. Of course, looking ahead to round number 3, with this, I believe, being the last game of a round, Penrith will open the round against Parramatta. They were involved in a close affair against South Sydney, and Canberra will travel to play South Sydney. So both of them receiving teams that have been caught in a close affair. And, well, this has been honestly anything but. Now they have to see if they can maybe mount something here in this last minute and change.
Yeah, well, they've got 3 players to work with here, Penrith. They're in the red zone here. Penrith, this will be it. Can they jag one back? As Pace will play the ball. It'll go to Lee. They'll send it to Crutcher inside for Sinclair. He tries to push his way over, and I think he's done it successfully. They're going to send it upstairs, but I'm pretty certain he's got that down. And Penrith will grab himself a consolation try.
Yeah, soft signal, no try, but it was O'Neill that tried to stop Lachlan Sinclair. Big prop that is just very difficult to stop as a half, playing in a fullback role no less. And they will send it upstairs as a try. Huge for Lockie Sinclair there. Just able to score in the final 30 seconds. Of course, I don't see them being able to pull any more back with so little left, but I definitely think that's a consolation try that they'll need to go on into the rest of the season with at least some bit of morale.
Yeah, well, I think the fact that they were able to score 18 points is good, and it certainly could have been better, but I think Penrith will take a lot out of that late comeback. I'm pretty sure they've won the second half, have they not? It was 22-0 at halftime, yeah?
Yeah, 18-14, so at least they can come back with that, but with just how downhill run... Not so much downhill running, rather, the Panthers were having to go up against from Canberra. Have to say, this is...
Oh, wow.
That's the way to end it, isn't it? Ollie Page just says, let's get this over with. I don't want one more play, considering the siren already went during the kickoff. Jack, give us your final thoughts.
Well, I think that that last play was typical of Panthers night. They had a little bit of a stuff up there, bit disjointed. Penrith certainly didn't play to their best potential, but the Raiders were phenomenal. Eli Barnes, I thought he was quiet, but he almost ran for 200 meters. He had a try himself. Caval was very good at second row. The Raiders were good, and Penrith just didn't have the class to match it with them.
Yeah, I mean, those 6 line breaks from Eli Barnes was really what broke the Raiders, well, Panthers rather, in defense, and that's what led to them getting this 18-point win. They'll definitely go along with their heads held high.
Wow, the Raiders had almost 70% of the ball in that match. Well, they certainly dominated. Oh my God, Penrith almost made 100 more tackles. It was just an absolute domination from the Raiders at the end of the day, and I think the fact that Penrith won the second half will provide them a little glimmer of hope when they go to versus Parramatta next week. And no offense, I think that might be the battle of the spoon.
I prefer not to speak on that, but we'll hopefully be able to see what happens with that very soon.
All right, well, I think that wraps us up. We'll see you all next time.